Now, when we get in contact with all these people out here, no matter if you go to an insurance office or whatever, they should be on their paperwork, and I believe in the courtroom, so we can be seen as natural human beings with natural rights. See, animals are classified by gender and identity as male and female. We are identified as man and woman. That's our identification as a natural human beings. A man and a woman. A boy and a girl for a child. Or what's considered a child, offspring. That's what we are supposed to call them, offspring. Boys and girls. We call them boys and girls anyways. That's just given. But then when you go in them courtrooms or you sign those paperwork, it just says what gender. It doesn't say what's your identification as a human, to be known as a human, which is a male, a man, or a woman. They just want your gender, so then they can attach your gender just to be your identity. Even though you think, it just because it ain't in there doesn't mean that. Yeah, it does. Everything has to be specific for us to be under the Article 3 system that we're supposed to be placed under. And if we are, all these traffic crap and stuff actually, it would actually prove does not apply to us. And I already proved that it only applies to all those who work for the state and the government. It don't apply to us, or the state, what the state creates for laws. It only applies to government agents, employees, and officers of authority. They have to imply that upon themselves. Or apply it. They have to apply it to themselves, to each other. They have to tell on each other. It's in their codified law. They're supposed to tell on each other when one does wrong. They don't do that. They don't follow their codes. They don't follow their rules. They are above their rules and laws. They are the sovereign citizens. They do have rules and laws outside of what we have that they've created. But they've created shit to create loopholes to get around that stuff and try to get us to believe that we are to obey them, their authority, when it's a lie. You all have been taught by them lies. What does your parent do to get you to do what you want if it's best not to tell the truth? What do you do to your child if you think it's best not to tell the truth so I can get what I want? Get you to do what I want. That's what adults do. That's what grown-ups do. Kids get old enough, they learn how to do it. They see it. They notice it. There are kids that do. And then they grow up doing it longer than maybe you have. Whoever has done it less. Or, never knew about that till later. And then started doing it. Everybody does it. We treat each other like children. When we're in an authoritarian power structure. They're not supposed to have policing powers. The Constitution does not delegate policing powers, policing authority. Nothing in there does it state that the people are legally to obey the laws of the United States government and the laws of the state plain and clear. It has to have that in there. It has to be specific. It can't be to where you could just assume what you want. The forefathers created, in my own opinion, before it was reconstructed to be a new constitution for the federal United States, incorporated United States. But ChatGPT won't connect it as a corporation. I did get it too in one aspect, or one side, in one comment section where I said, well, the only way it can't be a corporation, but I put it as, corporations go out and make money and profit. That's what government does. It's a corporation. That is why 28 U.S. Code 3002 exists. Because it's a corporation. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's programmed with other stuff that they've been teaching us to teach us to be the parrot for the government. That's what y'all don't get. This stuff, this internet, that when you go Google stuff and everything, there's stuff in there that's to be a parrot for the government, to keep you in line. That's all Grok and ChatGPT and AI is. It's already being used to transform all of you's minds, to keep staying and believing in them and that system so it can exist. If you don't make a stand and say things and do things to, when it comes to your kids, to get your kids to know you need to exist for them, to believe you need to exist for them, but the kids are different. They're kids. We are not like the kids. Oh, 18, 19, they're still child. They're so young. Yeah, they're young, but they're still an adult. They're no longer a child by legal terms and no matter what. If you look at the past, over 100 years ago, or about pretty much 100 years ago, none of this was going on with worrying about, we gotta protect the children. Excuses. None of that. And children were, out running around, end up dead, bunch of bees, fell out of a tree, hurt themselves, accidentally killed themselves, get stuck inside of something, nobody can find them. They're kids. We was allowed to roam free. Freedom. Accidents happen. Kids do stupid stuff. You can't help it. If you really want to protect your child, because it's your responsibility, not the government's, not mine. I'm not supposed to be one that has my life interrupted so I can go out and make sure all the children are safe and stuff. I'm going to live my life. You worry about your own. You build a fence. And if you have to, you electrify it. And they won't touch it. And they won't be climbing it. And they won't be getting out. And your kids are safe and sound. With a parent at home, toys out in the yard, and the kid can play all day outside. They don't have to eat at a dinner table. Take them there, picnic outside. There's all kinds of fun people can have. If you just think about it. What can I do that could be fun? What did people used to do? Hey, what did people used to do that was fun? Back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, or early 80s. It began to stop by then. 85, or maybe by 88. I was old enough. I remember them. They had these lawn darts. Big old chunk of metal. Right here's a thicker chunk. You know, and a little bit plastic inside. But, and it's got a long, needle point on it. Long. And, we would, and it make that, and that end has to be heavy so it can, flip over, and it had the big, 3 or 4, deals on the back. Yeah, I guess 4. And then a little tip on the end where you can grab it on the back end, and the tip's up, and you throw it. Wow! We'd all be standing out there. We'd be playing that game. Dangerous freedom. Kids ain't scared. That's the way we're supposed to be. We're not supposed to be afraid to be killed that bad. To be, schizophrenics. Oh, I'm afraid something's going to kill me. Somebody's going to kill me. I got to be afraid of every little thing. I can't live my life. There are people that can't even go outside, can't even leave their yard. And now with all this, you can order stuff, and have it delivered to you no matter what. Mailman, UPS, stores, Uber, all this stuff now. Because they couldn't really use taxis. So now Uber all of a sudden got created because people started doing that. People got the idea, well, how about I'll become a delivery driver, separate, on the side, and I'm private. I'm competition to all the other delivery drivers. Government, oh no, state, oh no, you can't be a human being and have a right to your own business naturally. We got to come in with this artificial system that man created out of their head and stop you. You're illegally conducting business outside of our system. It's illegal. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT if it's really illegal for someone to just start up a business outside of the United States and states' corporatized business. Because people are being fined, arrested, businesses shut down because they do not have a license from their daddy, their mama, their big brother, their permission. Oh, okay, I think you can, yeah, but you got to have this. Oh, and you got to give me some money. You're not free. Land of the free. It's a joke. As a natural human being, we have a natural inherent right to forage. What did people go do before they created game wardens that was only for poachers that would go out and kill deer and just take the head? Or take the head, take the skin. Leave everything else, because they don't like deer. Yeah, other animals and whatever. Oh, something to eat in case they ain't had nothing to eat. That's a good thing in a way. In one aspect, that one thing. It gives other things food that needs it right then. Everything happens for a reason. And man comes in and tries to interrupt that. God has a design for us, and he just put us here. And then it says, we are not to live by another man's worldly views. And then another man, which it don't say this, but it should have, don't have the right to force another man, or a group of men don't have a right to force another man, but they created that in the 14th Amendment. But you know what? Because they were smart, they said they didn't put no individual or group of individuals can own, and enslave one or more individuals or persons. They didn't put that in there. They already said one person cannot own and enslave another person. That's it. That's all they put. Read it. Words have meaning. If they don't specifically define it the right way, then what we have today exists. Do you understand? I mean, I got to talk this way to these people who talk this way to us who can see through everything. You can't see through everything. You're blind. You're stuck on the surface. You can't see through things. All you see is surface. What people are saying. What you see they do, but you don't look past into what they're doing with, when you're looking past, with what they say. And this is the educational part they don't like. That's why I say, don't watch my videos. Don't read my posts. You tell everyone, because it's a danger to the state and the United States government. My info, which would get me by them, claimed me as a danger to them because I am trying to get people to see the real picture of what we're under. I've always questioned the system. I've always questioned religion ever since I was old enough to recognize what's going on, what we're being told. What I've been told all the way up to that age, because I was born into it. My mom got into it when she got pregnant or after she had me. So I was pretty much, in there. Because that's where she wanted to be, thinking from what she was told by stupid people that it would do good. What it did for me, I'm not in prison. I'm not even out of jail. My brother here, this one, he's not in out of jail. He's not in he hadn't even been in jail so far. And he's a bootlicker. But then, at times he don't like the cops. But, so he's a hypocritical bootlicker. You gotta like them or not like them. But then there are people go, oh, I like them, but I don't like what they're doing. Still, you're a hypocritical bootlicker. You like boots. You don't want them to get violent like they do towards people in the wrong way. But still, you want violent men with guns, like mafia, to go out and control people like mafia, men with guns, men and women of law enforcement, men and women of mafia. But we're not. We're drivers. We're operators. We're the public grouped up. We're citizens grouped up. A citizen. And, even individual. Even the word person. We have to demand these people start saying, no, you're going to identify me as a man, not as a driver. Or a woman, not as a driver. Not as an operator. I am not, and I don't consent to what you want to call me.